Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Malikicowtipper going to bring you another game of StarCraft 2, and today my opponent is Cereb? We're gonna call him Cereb, kind of like a Serbian. And this is gonna be on Daybreak LE. I'm not sure what the LE stands for. Whatever, it just sounds cool, you know, when you put a few letters off after almost anything, like Malikicowtipper V series, or Cereb S-type, you know, I'm naming off cars actually right here, awesome cars, but it still just sounds awesome when you think about it. So let's bring up some awesome tabs for you guys. And I'm Malikicowtipper. I'm spawning as the blue Zerg in the lower, the lower position in Daybreak, and Cereb is spawning as the red Protoss in the upper position. And I gotta admit, I had a very, very tough time in the ladder the last couple days. I got up to the top 8 in my gold league, and I'm thinking I'll be promoted sometime soon to platinum, which is pretty cool. But I'm starting to play a lot more platinum players. Ran into a diamond player the other day, and some tricks that I used, some things that I've done in earlier leagues, just in general didn't work. I'm finding the opponents are playing better, so in turn, I have to play better as well. And one thing that, kind of frustrates me as far as, well, I won't say frustrates me, but one thing that has definitely made StarCraft 2 a little bit more interesting is just how, kind of macro some Protoss will play, where they'll get a second and a third base, sometimes just as quickly as a Zerg, sometimes not that third. But the second base, Nexus first with Forge is almost always a given as far as that's concerned. And I'm just glad that I don't see a lot of cannon tricks going down with a lot of that stuff. But realistically, yeah, check it out. Cereb is kind of just scouting here, seeing what is up with me, checking this out. And he's probably waiting to see whether I decide to go expand, and I'm trying to trick him right here, but maybe I sent it a little bit too earlier. He's like, that's too early, fool. I know what you're doing, because I actually want to lay pool first, and I'm going to get a late gas. And the reason I want to do that is I want to attempt to punish this Protoss for this build that he's doing. There's a fairly large area here that he has to wall off on, and I'm hoping that I turn my audio down. There we go. Sorry, it just sounds so awesome in my headphones, I couldn't resist. But anyway, I'm hoping that I can get, a pack of some speedlings or some zerglings in here and maybe cause some type of chaos. I've noticed that a lot of Protoss, in their attempt to, go quicker, and as, we as Zerg have just more or less accepted that, hey, they're going to get that second base, they've kind of gotten a little lazy with some of their builds, but Cereb isn't going to be one of them. He's actually going to build a very good wall-off, let that go early, and we can see that my spawning pool is almost done, so the idea here is to get my queen out, and then inject, and then after that, build the 3 larvae, and then have the and then have a total of 7 larvae for when the queen, for when the first inject goes through, and then be able to push out about 14 zerglings and get them across the map as quickly as possible, and take down whatever I can with them. And this is kind of a gamble for a Zerg as far as it goes, because we check out the income tab right here, you can see that we're about dead even, and then when I decide to use 7 larvae for Zerglings, and I'm actually going to use an extra 2 larvae right here, so that's 9 larvae that normally would have been going towards my economy that just simply isn't right now. And that can be absolutely devastating, for a Zerg player just to not have those early minerals, and especially that early larva, just because every larva is so damn precious. But right here, I'm actually going to get my goods, really going to be able to get my scout off with this Overlord here. He's so chill. And to this end, I do kind of have an idea that this wall off over here is going to be pretty tough to get through, but I'm not going to know that quite yet. We can see he's dropping a Cyber Core back here, got a Forge up front. It is a little weak in areas, just like with the pylon and stuff like that, but nothing too major. And actually, he's killing that pylon. That's awesome, because this Zealot came in and now we can't get out. That's so awesome. So that pylon needs to die for the good of Ire, or whatever Protoss are praying to these days. And we can see that for the both of us right here, neither of us have really made any workers in the last, I'd say, minute or so of the game. And we're both tied at 15 to 15, which is very unusual. I'm kind of interested to see. He's got double gas going up here, so what that probably means, not aware of it because my Overlord is just chilling back here, is that he's probably going to go for Stargate first or something else like that, and maybe get some Phoenixes, maybe a Void Rare 2 out in the field. So I have 4 Zerglings here, and what I really should be doing is using these Zerglings to poke up through, and, guys, excuse me for the yawn. Oh, and I didn't rally these Zerglings. Super lame. Anyway, but I really should be poking up here like what I'm doing right now and seeing if I can even sneak in. So right here, I'm like, crap, I can't. 2 Zerglings get melted. Again, for the good of the swarm. It's always got to be about for the good of the swarm. So if we check out production right here, we can see that right now I'm going to drone, and I'm going to throw down a Bangling Nest. And my logic is I'm going to drone right until the Bangling Nest is done, give me some economy, pump out some more Zerglings, basically turn every single one of these guys into Banglings, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go after the Photon Cannon here, hopefully take out the Forge, maybe the Cyber Core, you know, whatever I can along with it. And my hope is that if he's going for 2 base expand, and I can see that the Nexus wasn't even down, is that he does not have any type of standing army. So even though this is going to take out a lot of my troops, the idea is that without those key buildings there, I should then be able to rush in with Zerglings and finish the game. Check out the income tab right here. We can see I'm up 25 to 20. So one thing that this build does do for a Protoss is they need to save a lot of money for it because they need to be able to get those Stargates down, which I'm pretty sure that's what he's going to be doing right about now, actually. So I actually didn't know that this build hurt their economy that bad. That's kind of interesting. Double Stargate pylon, and he's probably feeling fairly secure right here. He's got a decent wall off, a couple cannons that's going to prevent any type of Zergling run by, but he doesn't know that I'm crazy. He doesn't know what I'm planning to do. Like blowing everything with Banglings. Oh, that's so many Banglings. So awesome. And we check this out. I'll be producing more Zerglings behind that. We go to the income tab right here. I'm up 32 to 26 for the Harvesters, so just in that short time alone, while I was building the Bangling Nest, that's kind of the commitment that you have to make for Zergas. If I'm going to go to this tech and try this while I'm waiting for it, I am going to be building drones, because you just won't have the economy to support it if you don't. And we check this out, go back to the production tab right here. See, I have 12 more units worth of Zerglings on the way. I'm getting my second gas finally, and I'm going to be going to Lair Tech. And the reason I'm going to do this is I want to have something going for me, just in case this plan doesn't work. There is a chance that when my Banglings get here, he has half a dozen Zealots and a few Stalkers, and I'm just really, really screwed. So, well, maybe I'm getting Lair Tech. 16 more Lings on the way. Ignore me. And, okay, that's what I did. Got an Evolution Chamber, just in case there's going to be Phoenixes, and actually, I can see them right there. So that's, the Evolution Chamber was in response to the Phoenixes. Ha! Cereb, ha! Ah, that's awesome. He just messaged me back after that last battle. We can see that I was able to take out the Forge, the Gateway, drop a couple of the cannons. The Cyber Core still stands, that lucky son of a gun. And right now, I have more Zerglings just pulling in. These Phoenixes are like, oh my god, what can we do? There's nothing we can do. We can lift the Zergling, but yeah. And cannons down, all the workers are going down, and it's just these lone couple Zealots. There's 2 Gateways, and that's really about all he can do to repel this attack. I'll be laying down a couple Spore Crawlers here, just in case. I don't want any type of shenanigans going on up in my base. More Zerglings coming through, and I really should just be dropping that Cyber Core right now. But instead, I opt to go for the Pylon. I'm going to take out the Gateways right at the source. No more units for you. And that is basically going to be GG from Cereb at this point in the game. You know, he can kill a few Lings by doing lifts with the Phoenixes, but there's just not much. Right now, he's LOLing, and this is actually kind of funny right here. I'll just let you guys watch and read this. Kind of neat. And I'm like, you jumped. Ha! I can see myself doing that. You know, it's one of those things where, like, as gamers, we don't necessarily realize that we do goofy or silly things sometimes. And that's probably one of them. And the reason why this game is coming up to YouTube is, one, it's a nice, short, little 11-minute game, and 2, this doesn't always work. You don't always get this lucky as far as it's concerned. I was very, very fortunate that he decided to go double Stargate, because that meant that his ground army was basically non-existent. So when I blew up that wall, there's really nothing that could stop me from, you know, going in and just wreaking absolute havoc. And that's really cool. It kind of looks like a hole in the ground right there. But it's one of those things where if you see a Protoss being greedy, trying to do a build like this, you know, it takes about 50 seconds to morph in some Banglings, and it's, relatively speaking, a pretty cheap overall attack. You can see I came out very, very much ahead right here as far as the units lost tab's concerned, and actually I was not able to build Zerglings quick enough with my 2 hatcheries. I could have easily expanded behind this pressure. So go ahead, just don't let your Protoss, you know, form a massive death rape ball machine. I mean, that's really the best way to describe it. It just kills everything in a very, very nasty way. But thank you very much for watching. This is Malikicowtipper signing out.